So I think Bay Village, Ohio has actually taken over as my favorite suburb in the Cleveland area. What I came to realize is I haven't spent as much time as an adult there as I did when I was a kid. When I was at that younger age, I never considered the possibility of moving there, that it's actually somewhere I would consider living further down the road. Now, my name's Sam Oler and I'm a realtor in the Cleveland area, and I handle all of the suburbs surrounding it and Cleveland itself. So if you're thinking about moving to this area, I help a ton of people relocate from all over the United States, so feel free to reach out to me. Whether you're moving in a couple weeks or a couple months, I am happy to start talking with you about the process to get you here. Now, jumping into today's city tour, which is Bay Village, Ohio, you can kind of already tell that I've had a huge perspective shift, and I obviously am thinking it's a great city to live in, especially since I'm considering moving there now at this point myself. So a little bit about the city. Bay Village is less than 30 minutes away from Cleveland, and it's located on the west side over in Cuyahoga County. Now, the really cool part about Bay Village is that it sits right on Lake Erie itself. So you have very fast access to go hang out on the beach, and then you also get the views as you're driving through the city. As far as the history of Bay Village goes, the city was founded by Joseph Cahoon in 1810, and Bay Village was a part of the original Dover Township. Now, Dover Township comprised of Bay Village, Westlake, and parts of North Olmsted. And in 1901, landowners in northern Dover forced an election to split the Dover Township, which is going to form Bay Township in 1903. And Bay Village went from being a village to a city of Ohio in 1950, when it reached just about 7,000 residents. Today, Bay Village is characterized by tree-lined streets of Craftsman, Cape Cod, Tudor, and colonial style homes, as well as many mansions along the Lake Erie shoreline. Now, as far as the housing market in Bay Village, the median sales price there is sitting right around $375,000, and you'll find everything from townhomes to single family homes all the way to luxury real estate that sits as the lake being their backyard. If you drive down Lake Road, which runs parallel to the lake itself, you're going to see so many beautiful houses, and there's actually a few listed for sale right now. One of them is listed just under $5 million, and one of them is listed at $10 million. And just take a look at this house. You definitely would not expect something like this to land in Cleveland, Ohio, but it's this massive 2-floor house with windows that go from floor to ceiling in every room. It's just something that really shows the type of class that you can find in Bay Village. Now, with Bay Village being a relatively small city, you're not going to find a ton of different new builds there. However, there are people who are buying the extra vacant lots and also buying the houses that are pretty run down and need to be rebuilt, and taking those plots and building some new construction homes. However, there's not really any new developments that are going up. If you do land one of the newer townhomes, they're going to be very large. You're going to be at right around 3,600 square feet, and they're landing right around that 800,000 mark, and older ones near that size are going to be closer to 600,000. But the one thing that you're going to want to keep in mind is that 97% of the houses in Bay Village are going to be single family detached homes. And with the majority of the houses being built in the mid 1900s, as you're driving down the streets, you're going to see the majority of those houses be that style. And also, you're not going to see too many rundown houses because everyone keeps up with their houses. There's a lot of rules in place that Bay Village keeps so that the neighborhoods are continuing to look good. So when there is a house that is overgrown or in bad condition, the majority of the time it is quickly taken care of, and the houses that you can find in the area for sale from the mid 1900s are probably going to have some sort of renovation on them. You're going to have that mid 1900s charm with modern amenities in the house itself. Now, Bay Village is incredibly competitive to get into. The majority of the homes in the area are going under contract within 6 days, and they're going about 4% above the list price. And that's just the average home. Anything that's been worked on or freshly renovated is going to be going about 10% above list price in only 4 days. It's one of those areas where you can't really take your time and decide for a few days on whether or not you want to put a bid in. You got to be able to analyze the home and decide whether or not it's for you within a few hours. Now, to put it into perspective for you, with the houses averaging between 4 and 10% above list price, you're probably going to be spending anywhere from $15,000 to $40,000 extra on the house when you put in a bid if you are in a multiple offer situation. And there's a lot of tactics that go into writing a good offer. So you're going to want to make sure you're working with someone you trust and also someone who knows how to get offers accepted in today's market. And not to toot my own horn, but I am one of those people who can. Now, the Bay Village area does have a lot of people relocating to it from different parts of the country. A lot of them are going to come from Ohio, but some of the top areas that are relocating to the city are going to include cities like Los Angeles, Washington, D.C., and New York City. And another thing to think about if you're moving to the area on the topic of houses, we don't really get any sort of droughts, hurricanes, or fires here. The main thing that you're going to have to worry about is going to be storms, and those usually come in with spring and fall as the weather is changing. We get some pretty harsh rainstorms and windstorms that can knock down trees or tree limbs, and the majority of the time you can avoid issues as long as you keep up with those trees as far as trimming goes if there's dead limbs. And the other thing with the water is that we have basements here, so you need to keep an eye on the exterior of your home to make sure that the water is washing away from the home properly. And as long as it's doing that, that'll solve 90% of your problems that you'll have with water around here. If you want some more information about preventative maintenance for your basements, definitely go check out some of my other videos. I talk about a lot of different ways to stop flooding in your basement, stopping it from smelling moist, and just keeping it in the condition that it needs to be so that way you don't have any issues with water or mold. So if you're moving to the Bay Village area and you have kids, chances are a school district is going to be very important to you. And Bay Village is not one that you're going to want to skip on. It's got such a great rating from the US News. It's going to come in right at number 665 in the nation, and that's spread all across the United States as far as all the high schools go. And then in Ohio, they are going to land at number 25. Now this is all rated on a scale of how prepared their students are for post-high school life, whether they be going into the workforce or if they are going to continue their education in college. But US News gives them a scorecard of 96, which is definitely very high for the area. In the fall, you're gonna have different sports such as soccer, golf, cross country, football, tennis, and volleyball. Come winter, the students are gonna be able to take part in different sports like basketball, swimming, hockey, and wrestling. And then in the spring, they're gonna have access to different sports such as baseball, lacrosse, softball, tennis, and track. Now, if the students are not feeling like playing a sport, they have the opportunity to take part in different clubs, and this high school has a ton to offer. Now, some of those clubs and activities that they have to choose from are choir, band, key club, youth philanthropy, National Honor Society, yearbook, science club, Bay Window, which is the publication that they send out a newspaper to all the students every week, ski club, and even things like creative arts. Now with this diverse selection of activities that the students can choose from, there's no reason that they shouldn't be getting involved with the school or spending some extra time after. And those will act as not only resume builders, but they'll create memories for your kid that they'll be able to hold with them throughout their whole life. And if you're moving to the Bay Village area, something that is going to matter for you is going to be the job market. And trust me, there's a lot of job openings in the Cleveland area. Just in a certain radius around Bay Village, you are going to be able to find about 25,000 job openings that are currently active. And those are going to range everywhere from minimum wage all the way up to $115,000. So if you're moving to the area, you have a pretty good chance at landing a good paying job. Now the average household income for people who live in Bay Village is going to be right around the $140,000 mark. So whether it is a one high income family or a two median sized income families, that's right around where you're going to expect to land to be able to live in the area. It's not totally unattainable, but you also have the opportunity to surround yourself with other high income producers. Now the population in Bay Village is right around 16,000, and 90% of those people are going to be working some sort of white collar job. And as far as the education for the people that live here goes, the majority of them are going to have some sort of bachelor's degree or graduate degree from college. So that's just an idea of what you can expect when you move to the area as far as the demographic goes. Now, as I was filming this video, I spent some time in downtown Bay Village at Mojo's Coffee, and they have some fantastic food. And what I did was I went and grabbed some coffee and a breakfast sandwich, and then I drove myself down to the lake and I ate my food, drank my coffee, and hung out and just enjoyed the scenes that I got to look at and also the sounds of the waves coming crashing in. It's one of my favorite sounds in the world. I think it's just so relaxing. So if you find yourself in the area during the morning time, I would recommend doing a similar experience. Another great opportunity for a good dining experience in the evening is going to be Timetable. And there they've got some excellent food and some even better drinks to choose from. And another thing to consider if you're moving to Bay Village is with it not being as big of a city as some of the other ones surrounding, you're not going to have a whole lot of access to shopping within it. You're going to have two main grocery stores that you're going to spend the majority of your time shopping at. One of them is Heinen's and the other one is Bay Food Mart. But that's not necessarily a bad thing because Heinen's is going to have pretty much all the groceries that you're going to need. And if they don't have something that you really need, you're going to be able to drive south into Westlake. And over in Westlake, that's probably where you're going to do all of your retail shopping as well. Like I said, Crocker Park's only 10 minutes away, and it's a higher quality outdoor mall where you're going to have different stores like Lululemon, Eddie Bauer, and so many more. If you want some more information on the shopping center, definitely go to Google, type in Crocker Park, and then just zoom in on the map and you'll be able to see all of the different stores that they offer. There's a lot of restaurants in the area too, and then there's also going to be some different grocery shopping and even a few different fitness clubs. Now my girlfriend does Pilates there, there's an Esporta Fitness, and there's even a Spanga across the street from Crocker Park. So no matter what your activities are, whether it be shopping, sports, or fitness, you're gonna have a whole lot to choose from. But if you wanna stay in the city of Bay Village, you're gonna have a ton of different activities to do there as well. You're gonna have the Bay Village Aquatic Center, which has summer pool memberships, and it's just a great place to go and spend the nice days during the summer. And it's especially great for getting some energy out of the kids. You can work your way over into Huntington Beach and go swimming in Lake Erie. You can kayak, fish, or just lay on the sand and suntan. And they've also got a walking trail at the top of the park if you don't want to risk getting dirty. Now, one of the places that people commonly overlook is going to be Columbia Park, and that's because Huntington Beach is on the map as an actual beach and Columbia Park is not. So in order to get to Columbia Park, make sure you're typing it in as Columbia Park in Bay Village. There's a few different options to choose from, like in Columbia Station. Make sure it's the one in Bay Village though. So you'll park across the street, you'll walk down a path with some stairs, and it'll give you access to more of a private, smaller beach. And another cool thing about it is that there's a water outlet for the river that flows into Lake Erie, and it makes a waterfall, so it's just something that is really cool to hang out by. It's fun hearing the sounds of the waterfall mixed with the waves crashing in from Lake Erie. If you want to take part in some artistic activities, you can go over to Bay Arts, and there you can do different things like ceramics, painting, drawing, and writing, and all of those activities are for both kids and adults. Now every month they put on a different assortment of classes and also gallery viewing, so make sure you check out their website and see what's going on for the month before you just try and show up and get into a class without reserving it. And if you're more of a nightlife person, it's very fast access to get to downtown like I mentioned earlier, and there you can watch a show at Playhouse Square or catch a concert at House of Blues, and afterwards there are a ton of different restaurants that you can get food at, or if you want to experience some of the Cleveland nightlife culture, you have the opportunity to go to the different bars downtown. And a fun fact about Cleveland is we are ranked in the top 5 for nightlife in all of the United States. Our bar to resident ratio competes with some of the top cities in the United States, which I think is incredibly cool and is something that's commonly overlooked over here. Now I think moving to Bay Village can be an extremely great idea for the right person. However, it's not going to suit everyone's lifestyle. I happen to be one of those people who really love the lifestyle that they have there with all the outdoor activity and just being able to be very close to nature, very close to downtown. It's a place that I'm considering living myself in the future. Now, if you're thinking about moving to the area, definitely reach out to me beforehand. I can help you do a deeper dive on this city to see if it's the right fit for you, or if you want to check out some of the other suburbs, we can start to work on that as well. So like I said, whether you're moving in a couple weeks or a couple months, I'm happy to help in any way that I can. All of my contact information is down in the description. If you find yourself down there, make sure you click that like and subscribe button because it's going to keep you up to date with everything that is going on in Cleveland as far as the real estate market goes. And you're also going to get different tips here and there as far as activities to do, places to eat, places to shop, and so many more. But with all that being said, I'm going to leave the video there. I'll catch you in the next one.